know, I have a feeling that there's more going on here in this area than I actually realized. Today, we're checking out the underneath of this abandoned Lehigh Valley Railroad Bridge to see what lies beneath it. From possible bridge wreckage to forgotten remnants of the railroad's past, you never truly know what you'll find when you start looking below the surface. So come along with me and let's see what we find beneath this abandoned Lehigh Valley Railroad Bridge. How many of you recognize this? We've seen it on more than one occasion. And that should give you an idea of where we are today, which involves, of course, the railroad. You guys have been telling me how much you enjoy videos involving trains and railroad history and infrastructure. So that's what I'm delivering to you today. But this is not my first time here, obviously. This is the location I'm doing a follow-up and revisit of because I was here back in December to document it for the very first time. And when I did, I said I would be back in the warmer months because there's more to explore. But everything that we explored was basically above ground and topside. Well, today we're exploring beneath the surface of the water because over here are some bridge abutments and bridges from the old Lehigh Valley Railroad and Lackawanna and Wyoming trolley line, better known as the Laurel line. And we're going to show up here where there's an area that there might be some bridge wreckage, maybe some rails, maybe some other ruins. And I did find out once my video came out that there is possibly more to this location than I ever realized. We'll talk about that in a little bit. That bridge right there that we walked under, which crosses over the Susquehanna River, is known as the Gauntlet Bridge. And that is today Norfolk Southern. But just over here, that passed underneath that train bridge at one time, was multiple lines. We confirmed that most likely there was about at least 4 rail lines that came through here. This bridge itself had a span of 2 rails. There's another bridge we're gonna walk over that's a little bit down below, and another one besides that. So we have a few lines for Lehigh Valley, 1, maybe 2 for the Lackawanna and Wyoming Valley Laurel Line trolley service, which all pass right through this area. Now, I have shared more details in that video, so I do encourage you to watch it down below. It will be linked in the description. Laurel Line operated from Scranton to Dunmore to Wilkes-Barre, and when I was here, we basically walked the line to where we couldn't go any further near a road bridge, which I don't remember which street it was, but there was a station there at one time, which is no longer there, and we saw some ruins and remnants of the different lines. So all that was covered in that video. This is going to be exploring beneath this history here, this old infrastructure. Standing here on this beam, a little iffy, especially now that the wind's kicking up. I'm not going to go any further though. I'm actually going to get off because wind's kicking up pretty good here. And that's quite a drop. So yeah, let's get off here safely. I'm actually carrying something new with me we're going to be trying for the first time too, based on recommendations and feedback from last year when I did underwater or things that revolve me going in the water. So I do have to watch too. This area is known for homeless people living here. Not to have a problem with that. I just don't want to, disturb or encroach on their location. We can notice there's some cribbing here with some ties and another bridge right there. So that's the bridge we were just looking at on top. You can go below it. I think it's also a fishing area too, but that's bridge number 2. But it's not the only one here. There is more than 2 bridges. There's a pretty cool shot. We got NS Bridge in the distance. This bridge right in front of us. The bridge we're standing on. And another bridge right there. You can see the beams that are exposed. And where we're going is down there and down there. Oh wow, look at the visibility and clarity. And the water is much lower than it was last time. Again, I was here in December and we had a lot of snowfall. The water levels were a bit higher. Still pretty clear, but much higher. There's also a pipe coming through as well, which we're gonna check out. So we're gonna be down here in these pools. We're gonna snorkel, check out what is probably bridge wreckage, and we're gonna see if there's anything beneath the surface, such as spikes, plates, any rail or train infrastructure that may be hiding beneath the surface. And it goes right through there and merges with the Susquehanna. Now I'm not going into the Susquehanna. That is a pretty polluted, dirty river, but this water leading into it is pretty good as far as I could tell. This is Mill Creek, and Mill Creek is a formation of other creeks and water sources and tributaries that does converge and make its way down here, spilling into the Susquehanna. So I'm going to mount a camera up here, which is going to be extended out for a topside looking down view as we do our exploring. And then we're going to get down there to that pad of concrete, get set up, and make our next decision from there as to where we want to enter the water. Yeah, right there is the other bridge abutment, the one that we're going to be primarily underneath. And we do have a way down here. I did hear movement over here. I don't know if there's someone over there or not, but we're not going to be bothering with them. So we're going to safely make it down here. Last time I went down here, I did slip and fall partway down. So I'm going to do this off camera and I'll see you at the bottom. That was steeper than I remember. Thankfully, there's a rope tied off. You're able to hold on a little bit as you descend the way down. But here we are, back in a place that we could finally cool off in. What a gorgeous location. Now I think it's Hollenbach Cemetery is right up there. And I just state that when I was here that this location is pretty much behind the cemetery. I'll give you a closer look so I'm able to, but from just the standing point here, you can see there's different types of material used. There is some big square rectangular blocks, some more like traditional stone up there. And there's someone walking across the bridge up there. Okay, they didn't see my camera. And we do have concrete over there, more concrete towards the furthest bridges. So looks like these bridges were probably placed in different time frames, different eras, maybe by different companies, which would explain the different types of material. And looking beneath the surface here, looks rather interesting. This column right here has a wider base, but I see wood down there, almost like shims or like a leveler to help keep everything in place, which is kind of baffling if you think about it. You know, wood holding up stone and steel. So we may uncover more clues than we realize. There's also a collapse here of the other abutment, which is why this beam or these beams are in the water. And I'm almost confident and certain that what's in the water here is what is still up on top of there. So that's what we're looking at. Just two beams connected, and most likely rails went across it. But I did learn some more information though when that video came out of my last visit here that does yield some more interesting information and clues. Just assessing the location, and although the water is not extremely deep here, maybe 3 to 5 feet at the most, if I'm lucky, it's not deep, but there's a lot of areas where you can get your hands, but especially your feet, entangled in, especially the steel bridge wreckage right there. So I need to be vigilant as to where I'm placing things, if and when I do stand up, so I'm not getting them lodged in something or scraping it across metal or something else. So I do want to be safe, but I also do want to explore this the best way possible. I think for starters though, we're going to enter over here and just kind of get it acclimated to the water, come over to this pool, and then work our way over to the bridge wreckage here. I'm going to do that the best I can. Then I think we're going to come around, check out this beam here, this pier, come around this side, focus on that area there, which obviously it won't be seen from the 360 camera, but you guys will still be able to see me one way or the other. And then finally, I think we'll maybe come back over, walk out to that rock outcropping and see if we can find any more clues about what's going on here. But I did state, I think there's something else going on besides just train activity. When my initial video came out, as usual, there were some people in the comments who had more information than I already knew. And they told me about something that I didn't even consider. Well, we knew that Lehigh Valley was responsible for transporting coal. Lower was for transporting people. But before the trains came through, they still needed a way to transport the coal. How they do that? With water. I learned that there was an old canal system coming through here, and that possibly one of these bridge abutments may have been an old aqueduct, basically like a water bridge where water flowed across for barges or containers to transport anthracite coal. So what we may see here today could be remnants of that dating back to the 1800s, but maybe that aqueduct bridge system was repurposed as a train bridge. That I don't know. I don't have a whole lot of details or clues, but I did find it rather fascinating though that what we're checking out today may have had another purpose, but it still involves coal mining and eventually railroads. So I thought that was some pretty cool history. So as we do search this area, if there's something that stands out to you that may be recognizable as dating it or what it could have been used for, by all means, leave your comments down below. It's actually pretty dirty here on top of this. I should have brought a towel. I have it in my car. Should have brought it down here because once I get wet and sit down, it's gonna stick to me like glue. So I do have something I'm trying out for the first time. These are water sneakers. And they're not just water shoes, they're water sneakers. They have a rubber textured grip on the bottom. No laces, you just slip them on and pull them tight. And I got these based on recommendations from viewer feedback. Now, up until using these, I've always used either open or enclosed sandals. The reason I use those is because they have a really thick rubber sole bottom. So if I ever do step on a sharp item, like a nail or piece of glass, 9 times out of 10, it won't puncture through and pierce my skin. But the top side of my foot and my toes are always exposed, and I have stubbed my toes countless times wearing those. But they've worked. I've used them for years. I became really accustomed to them. But again, based on feedback and recommendations and suggestions, I did get these, which gives me overall better protection of my feet. But this bottom base here, this bottom sole, is not nearly as thick as the ones on my sandals. So if I do step on something sharp, there's a high likelihood it's gonna go all the way through, puncture my skin. So this is gonna be like a trial run for these. If I like them, I'll continue to use them. If I don't, or end up getting hurt with them, I'm going back to the sandals. But I can see these being useful in other situations, especially at culverts where I do need traction and I'm walking through water or getting to a location that requires some rugged material. I was gonna wear them the entire way here, but there is holes in the bottom and my feet would be filled with rocks and stones and dirt before I even got to this location. So I'm gonna slip these on. Then I do have my snorkeling gear. I'm gonna have the 360 camera running up there, which is gonna be able to show down of what we're doing. You guys are gonna be up here, making sure everything's on lockdown for my gear and everything else. And then I do have another camera with me, which is gonna be strictly for beneath the surface, which is my other Action 3. This is the Action 3, that's the Action 4. This is what I primarily use for underwater footage. So getting the best of both worlds, left the Pocket 3 at home since that's not a rugged or waterproof camera. So I'm anticipating the water to be cold, probably really cold. And after I do scream like a little girl, I will be okay. It is in the mid 80s today, humidity around 55%. So I mean, I'm sweating already doing nothing. It's gonna feel good, but it's been hit and miss. In the nights, it's been 50s. But being a Pisces, I get accustomed to water pretty quick. So enough of me rambling, let me get set up and let's start investigating beneath the surface here. There's no real easy way in here because on the other side of where you guys are sitting, it sinks down like quicksand. And here, I don't necessarily want to slide in. So I'm gonna walk out to where it kind of shortens up and we'll make our way in. Guess I have no choice but to get in right here. Whew. A little chilly. I don't know what this pipe is for. Obviously, it transports most likely water, maybe from an old reservoir. And I think in the future, we might explore upstream. It looks interesting. It goes underneath River Street there. And there could be some, maybe relics from the past. This is my first water exploration video of 2026. So that's why I picked this location. It involves a little bit of everything. I will say though, the bases of my feet, I could feel the sharpness of the rocks much stronger in these than compared to my sandals. My sandals again are really thick and rigid. These are kind of flexible, which is great for gripping, but I do feel pointy, sharp objects, even points of rocks. So it's gonna be a little slow in certain areas. Whew. Okay, can you guys still see me? Let me readjust you. We'll explore a little more before we get the Bojangles beneath the surface. There we go. It's a bit sandy right here. It's like a sandbar I'm walking on and sinking into. And it does get a little deeper over here. I don't think I want to run my microphone over here because it might get submerged. I mean, I could walk right over there, but my main purpose is to come here and snorkel. But I just realized I'm making a crucial mistake. I'm stirring up sediment, clouding up the water. I've done that before. I'm like, you know what? I learned my lesson. I forgot that lesson. Let me take a better approach. I'm gonna get rid of this, get geared up, come in without stirring it up. And this water's moving fast enough that it should clear out. So one step at a time, I'll get this one way or the other. It's cold. Whew. It drops off pretty quickly here. It's cold. Oh God. Oh God. Got the worst of it out of the way. Okay. I feel better now. It is tilted up. I'm gonna go over there, wait for it to clear up a minute, and we'll start making our way over like I talked about. So enjoy the views from here, up there, and beneath the surface. Definitely deep over my head here, probably about 6-7 feet. A little cloudy, but it is working its way down. I'm going to stay away from that area. I showed a little bit of this so far, as you saw. We're going to work our way around. Hopefully it's clearer over there, and then we'll come back to this, and hopefully it's cleared up. A couple little tiny fish down there, little guppies, so water conditions are pretty good. sitting on those wood planks as shifts. So it's nice and flat and level. That's what they are, it's for the stone. And they're holding up incredibly well. I brought some gifts though. Let me come back, we'll go back over there. Well, not the most glamorous look, but this is real life. Retrieved 2 golf balls. I found probably 3 or 4 of them. And where I got these from was down really deep. Probably, I'd say at least 8 feet deep. Deceptively deep over there. But then the shell is out really quick with the berm of material. And some of the areas look a little precarious because the stone work is kind of deteriorating. So I'm gonna give myself a minute or 2 to let this clear out again. We're gonna go further along the bridge wreckage and continue further, excuse me, over to, let me think. I think I might come back and get you when we go over to that rock. That way we can get a good look underneath for some more clues. But if you saw anything so far that really stands out as interesting or intriguing, make sure you tell me about it. It appears someone was doing some measuring down there. Found this extended out, so I figured take it out so nothing gets stuck in it. No fish or aquatic life. All right, I'm mic'd back up, so we should have pretty good audio. A couple interesting things. I know I was putting some subtitles on the screen, so we saw the wood planks. Looks like on the left side of this pier here, there may be even more wood planks down below, like a bit deeper. And if that's the case, I mean, that means that like wood is supporting part of that, which is kind of like baffling to think about, which I said before. But I don't know if that is the case or not. It could just be big flat stones that looks like grains of wood. What is up there, those beams, is definitely what that is. 100%, no confusion, no denial, no nothing. They went across, most likely broke and fell in when that wall collapsed. Over here, there's not a whole lot going on. It's just really deep. You can see the stone work on both sides for the most part. I think we're going to take a walk over here now onto that rock, get another visual beneath the bridges, and then if we're able to, maybe I'll try to take you for a walk over there, but that is rather deep, so it might not work out. Oh, just found another golf ball here. That makes 3 of them. And I showed you too, I found little fragments of coal right in this area here. There's little crushed up chunks of coal. So again, just more confirmation of what was going on here. And a quick update about these water shoes. They're working, but they're trapping a lot of sediment. So my feet are like walking on, ooh, slid into a deep part there. My feet are walking onto a little layer of dirt I could feel. So it's not coming out through those holes, it's only coming in. So it's not the best for filtering out the dirt and rocks, but it's doing the job. I still prefer my sandals though, but for a location like this, I am glad I do have these. Now I know I definitely screwed up by silting it up, but honestly I had no way to avoid it. The only way I can enter is up here, and with the current flowing down, it's unavoidable. I would have had to have entered down here and worked my way up, and that really wasn't an option. This stuff is nasty. Ugh. Oh, it stinks too. This is normally underwater, so it's all dried, cracked up mud. But this is a rare view that we don't often get. And if I could have a train come by right now, that would be ideal. But I think it already came through today, the 13Z heading southbound. So I didn't go out too far. Obviously, I didn't want to get into the Susquehanna River waters. And it looks like it does deepen out here again too. There was a big obstruction over here. I couldn't go much further. As you probably saw, there's a lot of debris buildup where it shallowed out, but then it got deep again. So I didn't go over here, but I think that's okay that we didn't. But here we are beneath those 2 spans, which we don't know if it was LV or not, or Laurel line. That's the only thing I don't have confirmation of, is which ones ran where. We just know they ran parallel to each other. And then we have that bridge there. But where was the aqueduct? That's the question. Most likely wasn't here. That's newer construction, more modern concrete. I'm thinking the aqueduct could have possibly been the broken span area. I mean, that looks like some of the oldest work here, because here we have stone, then concrete, where that's primarily all stone. But this could have been altered at one time when they put this bridge here. So maybe it could have been here. Information I don't have, but it is just things that ponder in my mind. But this stuff is freaking nasty. Ugh, I don't want to fall in it. Look, it's like leaving like oil slicks. It's like methane that's coming up. Ugh. I feel like I need to get hosed down now. Oh, Jesus. Look how far I sunk in. It's bubbling. It's like freaking, what the hell is the word I'm trying to think of? Struck oil. That's it. So what do you think? Do you think the aqueduct would have been here? I'm thinking a greater than 50% chance that it was here. I also heard too that that may not have been a railroad bridge, but I find it hard to believe because there is ties up there and the span is about correct. It's like an access road now, but I'm pretty confident that was rails back in the day. So I mean, like I said, upwards of at least 4 rails coming through here between LV and what was the other one? Laurel line. And we also know that the LV was really useful in a coal mine facility just over that direction, kind of behind the River Street Jazz Cafe, where I did document part of the CNJ and LV on a more recent video. So that ties into this area as well, because I do mention it. So if you haven't seen that video either, I will link that down below. But this is a pretty fascinating area. Knowing that we're looking at bridge wreckage and that how it's built with the wood planks that's still holding up incredibly well. It's like preserved almost. See, this rock ledge comes right down into the water here. I'm walking on the edge of it now. There's also a thick sandy buildup. And now that I'm in the water, I'm pretty used to it. It's incredibly comfortable. To see how the water has carved it out over the many decades. And up there, if you're wondering what that wall's there for, up there was a substation. And I believe it's for the trolley line. That's how they provided power to the tracks, or I should say to the cars. Overhead cable. Even finding bricks. Oh, here's some stuff. So there's a pipe right there, and that's really slippery. What is this? It's a hatch. Here's something else. Ugh, why is it like foamy? Ugh, what the hell? Ugh, I don't know what the hell that was. Something was like crawling on me. I don't know what the hell I picked up. But like I said, I think I want to walk this in the future. Maybe later this summer. Obviously it's going to involve us getting wet, but I'm okay with that. I'll bring my sandals for that. But we could follow it right up. That's River Street right there, I believe. Cemetery is right there. And maybe we'll find some more clues along the way. But without a doubt, truly fascinating area. I have come to really appreciate what this little spot has to offer as far as, now we know, an old canal aqueduct, and then different rail lines coming through here hauling anthracite coal, to active Norfolk Southern Bridge still nearby, so we can hear trains and see them if you're lucky. So this area offers a little bit of everything. And I think I said last time I was here, I was up there looking down like, oh, I could bring a tube here and float around. Probably could, it'd be really enjoyable. Yeah, I'm not loving these water shoes, at least not for a location like this. Too much sediment getting inside, and too many sharp things I'm able to feel with my feet. I feel like I'm at greater risk of hurting myself with these than with my sandals. I'm not going to rule them out for some locations, but I'd rather have my toes exposed and have a thick sole rather than getting to the point where I have to empty these out every so often, and every sharp angle of rocks is painful. So at least I can say I try them. You know, I could just wear regular sneakers and just have them for water, but then they start stinking and everything else. I wanted to get something specifically for water, and these are great for the water, but not for what I do. I need something a little bit more rugged, a little bit more protection on my feet. And as of right now, I'm going to stick with my thick sole sandals, and I'll be at least not have to worry about painful edges and corners, and also getting things trapped inside my shoes and stuff like that. So it was worth a try though. All in all, I call this a really successful exploration and investigation of what is beneath the former Lehigh Valley Railroad bridges, Laurel Line train bridge, and at one point an aqueduct system. I did want to take you for a walk over there, but it's just not feasible. It's either too deep, or the areas where it's shallow, you sink in about 3-4 feet and it's just gross and nasty. But I'm gonna go top side one more time just to give you one final view of how everything looks, since we saw well established from below. One final look from the top, and maybe we'll spot something we missed before. A little risky leaving my 360 camera up here all by itself. Even though I could see it, there's no way I was able to get to it quickly if someone was to come up here and try to take it. But the risk paid off. All the footage recorded, and you got to see some pretty interesting perspectives. But now, back topside here. Now for me, the most impressive bridge is the one that's most intact. The double-lined beam one right there. And to know that we were right down there. It's kind of crazy, but we did it. I also did get scraped up a little bit. My leg is burning a little bit. I scraped down a rock, I think. Now, I'm sure there's things that are buried that you can't see. And if you were to come with like a metal detector or excavate some of the ground, you probably would find more ruins than what we've seen today. But you know what, I just remembered there is another good view on this side over here, showing you this bridge and the Gauntlet Bridge. Since we're here, let's take a quick look at it. Then I think we've covered this place head to toe, top to bottom, above and beneath the surface. Yep, here it is. More beer cans, not a surprise. And whew, what a view from up here. Now I'm noticing, which I don't remember if I saw it last time, maybe because the water is too high, but there is a span of concrete coming out, and it's at least 40, 50 feet in length. I'm wondering if the pipe is under there. Either that, or something used to be there at one time. It looks like almost like a little tiny road or a base for something. I don't remember seeing that though. I do remember though, that chunk of rail down there is embedded into the ground. That's sticking out. Yeah, I don't feel daring today to climb up there like I did last time. Kind of foolish for someone like me who doesn't like heights. I do hope that this video delivered what so many of you have come to enjoy on my channel. And it's been quite a while since we've done any type of physical underwater exploration. A lot of times I do stick my camera underwater to get you shots, which many of you enjoy. But I personally love getting under the water myself. And this location checked a lot of boxes. It did not disappoint. Had everything from railroad history, mining history, a little bit of canal history, even though I don't know much about it. I never really got into the whole canal thing, but I do appreciate history as a whole. But it's got water, it's got findings, it's got a lot of things going for it, including a nice little swimming hole. I mean, it's easy to get to. You have to descend down and climb back up a pretty steep, slippery embankment, but beyond that, once you're down there, you're good to go. But I wish I did have my sandals though. I'd feel a lot more better about what I was doing, where I was stepping, but again, no hurt in trying something new. They're not all gonna be winners and work out. But with that being said, not to be repetitive, but if you spotted anything in this video that I didn't really point out or didn't have any additional knowledge on, please educate me down below. Thank you so very much for joining me as we returned to this familiar yet fascinating and historical location. The fact that we've been back here multiple times now and find something new every time tells you there was a lot going on here. Not only with the rail lines and the bridges, but what's behind the River Street Jazz Cafe, with the CNJ, LV, a coal mining operation that was over there. There's a lot going on in a nice little circumference. And without a doubt, I will be back in the future to investigate further upstream, which I don't think is going to be anything related to railroading or mining, but just for my own curiosity's sake. Sometimes things do get transported by water and end up in a creek bed somewhere. So before I ramble anymore, I just want to thank you once again for coming along, hanging out with me, and joining me for another one of my adventures and allowing me to share some of my passions with all of you. This one which involves water, railroading, and mining. Did not disappoint. Hopefully you're not disappointed either. Take care, and as always, I'll see you in the next video.